Since the release of the first movie in 1977, Star Wars has become one of the biggest media franchises ever, which is why it's everywhere. Besides the main saga films, there are video games, spin-off movies, live-action series, animated series, and even a parody comedy series. Wait, what was that last one? Hi, I'm Dr. Panda, the only panda who's ever had an extreme makeover. And in this video, we're talking about Star Wars Detours, the animated Star Wars comedy animated series that Disney locked away in its vault to never release. What was Star Wars Detours? Why was it canceled? How good was it? And could the series not be completely dead after all? Let's get started. The year was 2012. The place? The Orange County Convention Center in Orlando, Florida, where Star Wars Celebration, one of the biggest Star Wars fan conventions in existence, was taking place. Fans gathered in one of the halls for a mysterious announcement Lucasfilm had scheduled. And then, when the lights went out, they were met with this. It was the trailer for a new animated Star Wars series. Chronologically, it was set between Episode 3 and 4. But even though Lucasfilm had produced quite a few different Star Wars animated shows before, this was completely different. It was a parody of the Star Wars universe, one that wouldn't explore the epic adventures of its characters, but something far more uncharted: their daily lives. This series was set to mark the first time the Star Wars universe would be allowed not to take itself seriously. Unless, of course, you count this. I don't. Okay, fine. The LEGO Star Wars games came first, but you know what I mean. This new parody series was a big deal. So big, in fact, that the series was produced by none other than George Lucas himself, who first teased it all the way back in 2009. But he wouldn't be working alone. The co-executive producer was Seth Green, the creator, director, writer, and producer of the stop-motion Adult Swim series, Robot Chicken. Detours showcase the daily lives of the most iconic characters from the original Star Wars trilogy, like Darth Vader, Obi-Wan Kenobi, Princess Leia, Han Solo, Chewbacca, Boba Fett, and the Emperor, with some special appearances by prequel characters such as Padme Amidala and Jar Jar Binks. In Seth Green's words, George Lucas envisioned the series as something akin to The Simpsons set in the Star Wars universe. Naturally, as a parody series, Star Wars Detours exaggerated its characters' traits, both in appearance and personality. For example, the close friendship between Han Solo and Chewbacca was amplified to resemble a dysfunctional marriage.
All I ask is 2 minutes so that I can put my things down. What do you mean late for dinner? Whoops.
Princess Leia's noble status was parodied by portraying her as an immature, spoiled brat.
Who should I take to the prom? Todd is totes double plus cute. No, Maya. My fake dad might approve of him. What about Kip? Yeah, I should totes date Kip.
And our beloved wise elder Obi-Wan was depicted as a crazy, eccentric hermit, which, if you think about it, is probably just how everyone on Tatooine saw him in A New Hope. The series boasted an impressive voice cast, including Seth MacFarlane, known for being the creator of Family Guy and the voice of many of its characters, as Emperor Palpatine, and Weird Al Yankovic as 4LOM. Remember him because he's gonna be important later. I mean Al, not 4LOM. Anyway. It even featured actors of the films reprising their iconic roles, like Billy D. Williams as Lando Calrissian, Anthony Daniels as C-3PO, and Ahmed Best returning as Jar Jar Binks. What I'm trying to say here is that this wasn't just another project for Lucasfilm. It was clearly something they were passionate about, and for good reason. The idea was brilliant. A comedy based on the daily lives of the saga's most iconic characters was completely uncharted territory for Star Wars. Surprisingly, it still is to this day. I mean, even Star Trek has its own animated comedy series. Seth Green confirmed that 39 fully completed episodes of the series were ready to air, with an additional 62 scripts written and prepped for production. But then, everything died. Just like that, from one moment to the next. No more updates, no further mentions. Star Wars Detours vanished from Lucasfilm's radar. So, what happened? The answer has 2 big ears and a whole lot of money. By the way, I'm thinking of making a video about one of the strangest characters in all of Disney's Tarzan series, one whose real identity might just surprise you, so let me know in the comments if that's something you'd be interested in. Just months after Detours was officially announced, Disney acquired Lucasfilm for over $4 billion, and with it came a tidal wave of changes. The House of Mouse announced it would begin production on a new trilogy for the franchise, but scrapped George Lucas's existing plans for a potential sequel. And this is highly relevant to the case of Star Wars Detours, because Disney's vision for the franchise was diametrically opposed to Lucas's plans. At Disney, they believed a parody series wasn't the ideal way to introduce new fans to the franchise, especially with a new trilogy on the horizon, so they ordered Detours to halt production immediately. In fact, Seth Green revealed that the then brand new president of Lucasfilm, Kathleen Kennedy, had a conversation with him where she explained that the studio was very concerned about the fact that a whole new generation hadn't been exposed to new Star Wars films in their life, and that she didn't think this absurd, self-deprecating series was the right way to introduce them to the franchise. During that same meeting, Kennedy made clear Lucasfilm's new priority. All Star Wars content needed to directly point to the films, something Detours simply couldn't deliver. And then, radio silence, at least from Disney and Lucasfilm. They never officially announced what happened to Detours, but others involved in the project did. Sort of. Felicia Day, who voiced an undisclosed character in the series, talked about the show during a 2015 livestream, explaining that as far as she knew, the series had been canceled. Years passed without any updates, until 2020 arrived. November, to be exact. And with it came something big. The leak of an actual episode. Titled Dog Day Afternoon, the 6-minute episode had been leaked on Reddit, but it really gained traction when the link was shared on Twitter by none other than Weird Al Yankovic, who starred in the episode, hoping this could mean a revival for the series. As expected, the leak was taken down shortly after, but the plot revolved around Zukas and 4LOM, Al's character, attempting to rob Dexter's Diner with special appearances by Lando Calrissian, Boba Fett, and Jabba the Hutt. Now, how likely is it that the 39 completed episodes of Star Wars Detours will ever see the light of day? Once again, we must turn to Seth Green, who was asked this very question by Entertainment Weekly in 2021, and yeah, his response wasn't exactly hopeful. To quote Green when asked if Star Wars Detours could be released in the near future, "The most recent conversations I've had with anybody who would be in a position to say so say that it's not soon." Green also explained that the series would require editing and upgrades to meet modern streaming quality standards, which is an investment Disney and Lucasfilm are unwilling to make without clear commercial incentives. But this wouldn't be the last we'd hear about Detours, because just when all hope seemed lost, something appeared that would reignite it. For over a decade after its cancellation, Lucasfilm never acknowledged the series, avoiding it like the plague until this year. By the way, if you enjoy the content of this fluffy panda and would like to support the channel, you can become a member by clicking the join button down below and get access to exclusive panda emojis, badges, and even some videos while you're at it. So as I was saying, Lucasfilm has officially recognized Detours' existence for the first time in more than 10 years. Could this mean there's even a sliver of hope for the series' resurrection? It all happened at this year's Star Wars Celebration Japan, where Lucasfilm Animation released a retrospective poster celebrating its 20th anniversary. Among characters from all their animated productions, one small figure with enormous eyes managed to sneak in. Wait, you don't see it? Okay, how about now? Could this be the beginning of Star Wars Detours finally being released? Could we possibly get to see it on Disney Plus in the near future? Now, I'll be honest, I scoured the internet for every available clip of the series, and while I love the concept and would kill for more experimental Star Wars comedy like the Kylo Ren Undercover Boss short, Detours itself didn't quite click for me. For a show that doesn't take itself or the franchise too seriously, most of the jokes I saw just didn't land, and this is coming from someone who enjoyed Robot Chicken. I feel like Detours was afraid to go full-on absurd. They gave themselves permission to be silly, but only up to a point, never fully daring to cross the line, and that's what makes the series fall flat for me. It never fully commits. But who knows? The available Detours content is just a microscopic fraction of what was produced. It'd be fascinating to see Lucasfilm Animation's full work on the project. Also, remember Shaolin Showdown, that epic series about Shaolin monks chasing Shen Gong Wu? Did you know it got a sequel that feels more like a cheap ripoff where they renamed all the Wu, changed Dojo's color, and altered tons of other things? I break it all down in this video. Subscribe for more. Dr. Panda out.